Hello, I'm Tyler Wall with the Digital Learning Team. I'm going to share a little bit about digital whiteboards. First of all, you're going to want a stylus or some such like that, something to draw with, an input type of thing. Here I have from a presentation that I've given on tablets with styluses. So there's an Apple Pencil and an Apple Pencil 2. The Apple Pencil has this little thing right here that pops off, and that will work with the regular iPads, the iPad Airs, and older iPad Pros. If you have a brand new iPad Pro, then you're going to want the Apple Pencil 2. It has a little wedge in the side, and it actually magnetically clips to the iPad Pro. If you have a Microsoft tablet, then it has a stylus as well. Works really good if you like the Microsoft environment. It's fantastic. But there's also like a Wacom tablet, which is an input device like a mouse, but it actually, you can't see on the one that I've highlighted here, you can't see the screen. You can get much more expensive ones that you can see the screen and it becomes like a second monitor, but it is a lot more expensive. So let's move on to some of the actual tools that I'll be showing you. Of course, there's Zoom, the Zoom whiteboard. It's really good, and I'll actually go through some of the pros and cons on these as well. But here's the HUD that's in Zoom. There's not a lot of tools in the whiteboard, but they work and they're easy to learn. And I think the best thing about the Zoom whiteboard is that you don't really have to teach people much. They'll just be able to use it. The integration time for students is going to be really low. So I fully support people using Zoom Whiteboard. The only downside is that it just doesn't have as many tools. And then I'm going to go to AWW, which is a really well-balanced solution. It had a free account. It still does have a free account, and it's still really good. It's just a little bit more limited than it was when I first did this presentation. But AWW stands for a web whiteboard, and it does a lot of things. One of the strongest features is that it allows students to have a copy. You can have like a master document that feeds off into students. You could actually have them do assignments right within the whiteboard, and you can embed it right into Canvas as well. So I'm just going to bring up a web whiteboard here. And as you can see, there's a pencil tool, there's an eraser tool, and you can change the sizes of them as well. I think I have to do that with my finger. There you go. You can do shapes. There's text you can add and what post-it notes. One of the things I like about AWW is that you can zoom in and out. So I put that there, and I'm not resizing the post-it. I'm actually zooming in and out. So if I were to draw something here, I can zoom in and out of that. And so then you can kind of get an idea of the things that you can do. You can start zooming. You could put a picture of a nucleus or an atom and then zoom out and trying to give people a concept of the scale and size of stuff. And also, as you put post-it notes out, you can, resize those as well. And this, I'm on the iPad here, so it is a little bit trickier on the iPad, but you can scale that up and down as well if you want. And so you can nest things really well. So AWW, really good solution. I'm going to move on to Jamboard. Jamboard is from Google. It's a pretty good tool as well. So I'm just going to leave this here for a second so you guys can see it. And now I'm just going to jump over into Jamboard. And we're going to fire it up. And as you can see, there's the drawing tool. You can do calculations. You can erase. If you touch and hold, you can clear the whole frame, touch and hold. And you can get different tools, different... so let's go yellow. Yeah, okay. And it's kind of a nice effect. The good thing with Jamboard is that now I can like highlight stuff and that thing goes away. You can upload certain documents, which is nice. AWW does that uploading as well. It might be a bit easier through Jamboard. Jamboard is, because it's a Google product, many of the Google products will work really well with it. Now there's not a lot of zooming. When you zoom on this one, it kind of there's a finite amount of space you can zoom, but there's also pages. So you can create more than one page, and as you can see, I've added my own template to this. And you can have as many pages as you want. And again, I believe this can be saved into your drive, your Google Drive, if you're using Google a lot. So let's move on to Mural. Mural is one that I like a lot. It is very robust, and with that robustness comes a difficulty to learn. And I'm not so much concerned about the person running the mural or running the whiteboard learning it. I'm more concerned with how many students that you'd have getting to run it. So if you have 30 students, it might take a bit for them to actually get into this. So I'm going to open it up, and there is a lot happening here. There's a ton of zooming that you can do in Mural. I think that's one of the things I like most about it. You can see how there's post-it notes over here in this corner. There's a world map with little posts on there. You can have animated GIFs. You can post videos in here. There's a lot you can do. And of course, once you start zooming, it scales really well. And then I can add a post-it note, and I can, write into there or draw a picture, and then I can just be done, and it'll post it up onto that board, as you can see. And so it's a great collaborative workspace in Mural. Again, there is a little bit of learning curve. It's not much, but I mean, when you try and scale a small learning curve over 30 students, 30 plus students, it can be troublesome. I think one of the things I really like about Mural is that it does have a timer. You can set a timer for how long you want people doing stuff, and there's a voting structure. So I can set up, start a voting session, and I can say, well, how many votes, or I can name the session. Okay, and then it says, okay, how many votes does everybody get? I'm going to say 4. Starts the timer, and then it gives you instructions. So I mean, it's not that it's hard, but I think there's always those people that are they weren't paying attention or something like that. So, and then when you go into vote, you can go in there and say, I want to vote for that one. I'm going to vote 3 times. And as you can see, the more I vote for it, the bigger that dot gets. So it's a really good system, and it really encourages a lot of collaboration. Mural is one of my favorite, but again, you're going to have to, if you're going to use it all semester, I would say this is a fantastic tool. I got a free version just by emailing them and talking to an artificial intelligence for like 5 minutes. And then a few days later, I got a free version. It does support multiple pages, but you have to have a pro account. So that's something else to keep in mind. I'll talk a little bit about Microsoft Whiteboard. Because it's integrated with Microsoft, I mean, it's going to use a lot of the Microsoft tools, and it works really well. There's a few things I'm not crazy about in Microsoft Whiteboard, and it's just limited in some areas. I don't think that is a big deal, but I just have certain criteria. It has a fantastic, if you're using a stylus, it has a fantastic stylus experience. I love it. I could draw on Microsoft Whiteboard for actually quite a while, but most people aren't going to be doing that. So keep that in mind. It does have uploading. You can upload quite a list of things. And it works pretty well. You can invite some people in there, and it'll work. You can't embed the Microsoft Whiteboard into Canvas like some of the other tools. For instance, Mural, you can embed right into Canvas. So you could have one whiteboard embedded in Canvas, and the students could be working off that throughout the whole semester, and they know where to go to get that whiteboard. So in that way, you can have a whiteboard like Zoom, which is all synchronous. You're doing it all at the same time. Or you can have it as asynchronous, where you put the whiteboard up and you just say, go into page 2, Johnny, you get page 2, go in there and then do the equations for me. When you're done, you can let me know. I will go in and I'll mark it for you. And then another student has page 3 and another student has page 4. You could do it that way. Or you could just have one big whiteboard that each person has their own section of that. So in Mural, you'd be able to do that because it's so big and you can zoom so far in. So the last one I'm going to go through right now is actually explain everything. It can be used as a synchronous whiteboard where everybody collaborates. I've had issues doing it that way. I just find that even if I'm working with one person, I'm always running into some kind of issue. There's always something happening. So I feel that it's not the best synchronous experience, but it is a fantastic asynchronous experience. And I'll go through just a little bit here with explain everything and show you some of the things that you can do with it that I find are very powerful. So here's just one of the templates that they put in there. And it's fine, but again, you can zoom, you can resize all sorts of stuff. You can resize the entire page. And one of the things that I like to do is, I think I might have something here already, and I just hit play. I've recorded something previously, and this is all just it playing through all those sequences. And you can hear that there's some talking in the background. It records audio, and so I could really walk someone through an entire lesson through explain everything if I built it previously. So I'm going to pause it, and then I'm going to go into record. And actually, no, I'm not going to record. So here you can see the timeline and all the things that I did. I can actually hit record at this point, and I can go ahead and add new things to it. And if I hit stop, now you'll notice that it was playing and recording at the same time. And as I added stuff, more stuff came in. So if I go back, I can actually just go, you know what, I don't want audio, or I can turn the microphone on. And so it'll record all that stuff. It's a fantastic tool, and I like it a lot. That's all I'm going to go over today. Thank you for your time, and I hope to throw up a few more how-to videos on Explain Everything and the other digital whiteboards as well. Thank you.